What's up, guys, and welcome back. I'm excited because today we're gonna have a new car arrive. When I was looking for a car, then the new car had to be rear-wheel drive. It had to be a bit sportier. It had to be cheap. That's a tough one. It had to be common in South Africa. A common car that you see everywhere. That I wanted to turn into a street slash drift car or track car that you can take to the track. Rear-wheel drive car options in South Africa. The ones that were popular, cheap, and common cars that easy to get to, and parts aren't that hard to get to. I had a few options. Mercedes-Benz W124. I like that. The sporty one might be wrong with W124, but it's the 190E. That sporty model. Nissan 200 SX or 240 SX. They come with a Nissan SR20 motor. That's rear-wheel drive. Really nice, also kind of hard to get, but it's not that hard, uncommon in South Africa, but it is, but you don't see it every day. Yeah. Then there's the BMW E30, BMW E36, the BMW E46, of which there are plentiful. They all look good as well. If I could, I would want like a Nissan S13, S14. That is like a really uncommon cars in South Africa. I've seen some around, but like that's like a handful. The other options was a Toyota KE70, the slant front, or the Toyota AE86. Those two are two very nice drifting platforms to start off with as well. The AE86 is not common in South Africa, and the KE70, the parts for them are getting more and more expensive, and it's a bit of an older car, so I just kept that in mind as well. Then the next was like maybe a Bakkie, Ford Cortina Bakkie, the V6 3 liters. That was a nice option. The motors are a bit big, so for that reason I don't really want to go with that. Then something a bit smaller is the Nissan Champ Bakkie, also rear-wheel drive, comes with 1.4 liter motor, Nissan. Then there's the Ford Escort. The Ford Escort XR6, that was a nice option I saw as well. Not too sure how common the parts are for the Ford Escort, so I kind of steered away from that a little bit. And then lastly, the Ford Sierra. That was my last option for like South African cars that were common, that also look appealing, look kind of attractive, look nice to use. Yeah. So the car I went for had to fit all those brackets, all those things, so that it can be usable. Plus, my own thing that I wanted it to be able to do was it mustn't be in a good condition. It had to be in a crappy condition, because this is also going to be a skills development car for me. So in that sense, I was going to learn to spray paint. I was going to learn to weld. I was going to learn to cut more with the angle grinder and work with cordless tools. And the only way I can do that is if I get a car that's not perfect, right? And right now, whatever other car I use, it's too nice to use. It's too nice to work on, to scratch on, to learn. You might just make it worse. So if you start on a really bad platform, you can only get better. The car that I went with was So you guys just saw what the car that I would like to go for, the BMW E36. So why the BMW E36? Number one is the three things. It's common, it's a cheap enough car in South Africa right now. At the moment, the price I see is going up slowly now again. but it's fairly cheap. It's a bit cheaper than the E30 in terms of cost of parts and prices. The E30 is getting into those classic gears now, so it's hard to get those car parts, and those are getting more and more and more expensive. Yeah, you have to know someone to get them cheap or parts for cheap. The BMW E36 looks good as well. I like how it looks. Can be done up really nicely. The common way is the M3 kit. I wanted the car to be preferably automatic. Why automatic? Because automatic motors are not as beaten on as the manual motors. I also wanted the car to have the straight 6 motor, because the straight 6 motor gives more power to the floor, to the ground. It's not that powerful, it's not that much higher of a horsepower car. I'm not sure how much the numbers are in kilowatt in South Africa, but the horsepower for the motor that I would like to put in there goes to about 190 horsepower. So it's not that much, it's just a nice streetable car. With the car I would like to also do a manual swap, and like I said previously, I also want the car to have a little bit of rust. I didn't want a perfect body. A car that needs some TLC. The E36 runs from the 90s to 2000, so within those years, a lot of the parts were made and a lot of the parts were sent worldwide. So we in the 2020s now, where in the 90s to 2000s, those years, those common parts are running slowly down now. They're getting less and less and less, so they're getting more and more valuable. So I'm still in the safe zone. I had previously a car that you guys saw, the Mini and the Mercedes-Benz. It was getting harder and harder to get parts for the Mercedes-Benz. It was in the 80s. The Mini was in the 70s. It was getting even harder and harder to get parts for that. I do know someone that deals with Minis to get parts. Yeah, the papers were also behind, so I had to sort that out. The license was behind, so yeah, it's a massive project. So hope you guys stick around to see the rest of it. But that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching.